What up, YouTube? This is your boy, Bob TV of the Bobby Brown podcast. So I'm sitting up here listening. I was listening to Kalinski complain about Joe Manchin. You know,
But everything I'm saying presupposes that his heart is in the right place, and his heart is not in the right place. He is a neoliberal corporatist. That's what he is. He is a Republican-like Democrat. So he's taking optics losses everywhere, but this is how he planned on governing all along. Because he also wants to serve his donors, and the donors don't want a big, bald leftist agenda to get through, which is
all right. So let me stop that. So what I did um, was I wrote a statement on this particular broadcast with Kyle, and it basically says, Cal Manchin is doing exactly what Um, Biden wants. He is only proposing all this stuff because he gets Democratic support from different directions. He is anti-voting rights, anti-jobs, for all, and more. Biden is probably hooking him up to be his fall guy. The people want this, but I don't want this. But I cannot let them see that. I need a fall guy. Yes. We got Joe Manchin. What? I got Kirsten Cinema too? So let me explain something, guys. Understand this. Joe Biden is Joe Manchin. Kyle said that FDR is rolling in his grave. So folks, y'all need to really study more on the history of FDR. He's just all that iconic, man. He said there how he just blew black people off for the New Deal, which most of the black people didn't get a chance to take full advantage of the New Deal. Everybody got a chance to take advantage of the New Deal, but black people still suffered segregation and oppression, and been told to wait as a result of the New Deal from FDR. But I'm not going to go into that. Kyle's a little smarter than me in that area. I'm not going to debate him on that. All I know is FDR didn't have too much care for black people. So the FDR rolling in his grave. Yeah, I guess so. If he saw Joe Manchin claiming to be FDR, Joe Biden claiming to be FDR. Here's the bottom line, people. Joe Biden is not even FDR. Joe Biden and Joe Manchin are the same. Joe Manchin and Joe Biden are long-term buddies. Man, if Joe Biden had that kind of influence, uh, if you didn't think that their long-term relationship, that Joe can't talk this man into doing something for his agenda, he would. The problem is the agenda that Joe Biden is pushing is not his personal agenda. He's only doing that because he know it gains him support from different areas of the Democratic Party, including progressives, because you got Cal Kalinski and all these other people who voted for him. And it gets him conservative Democrats, and it gets him so-called black Democratic support, as well as Latinos and even Republican support. So what you do, you pull the majority of what's needed in America and act like you support that too. And I'm going to be better than FDR. You're right. And I'm going to push these progressive policies because I need the progressives on my side. Why? Because I need to maintain power and I want to have a better legacy than Obama. Going for that ain't going, it's not impressive because Obama's legacy wasn't all that either. But the bottom line is this. Joe Biden is Joe Manchin. Joe Manchin is Joe Biden. Joe Biden don't want these policies. Oh, he's dumping on your policies, Joe Biden. When you going to get some balls? When you going to stop being a cuck? When you going to stop doing this? When you going to just slap him around a couple of times? Promise him some things. Give him some things. The problem is Joe Biden and Joe Manchin are lock, stock, on the same page. Joe Biden don't want none of this stuff. He's only putting it in the forefront because it garners support from all different directions just to get him reelected, hopefully, and to get some other Democrats elected. That's it. That's it. Joe Biden is not for none of these policies. He's only pushing them because you want them. and he need to push what you want to maintain support, but he don't. And of course, Joe Biden can't sit up there and say, I'm against these policies. Now, every now and then he'll say it, certain policies. He'll be bold enough to say it, but he can't sit there and set himself out anti these Build Back, Build Back Better, the voting rights bill. Joe Biden don't care nothing about no voting rights bill. He don't care nothing about no voting rights bill. But you do. And that's the only reason why he's pushing it. You do, and that's the reason why they put John Lewis' name on it, hoping to make you feel guilty if you don't support it. That doesn't work with Republicans, and that show definitely don't work with some Democrats, and it don't work with even some pathological lying bigot, rapist, racists, such as, Biden and Trump and their supporters. It don't work with them. The bottom line is this. Joe Biden is Joe Manchin. Joe Manchin is Joe Biden. They're a lock stock. Joe Biden actually, let me see. Joe Biden actually don't want this, but he can't be in the forefront acting like he don't want this. He got to make it seems like he's on your side. So instead of him being who he really is, he can rely on fall guys like Cinema, or fall girls like Cinema, and a fall guy like Joe Manchin. He's probably hooking Joe Manchin up left and right. People talking about, why don't you offer him some things? Let me tell you something. He probably giving him things just to be the fall guy. I ain't got to sit here and take the L in a certain way. In other words, I ain't got to be the reason why this failed. I got somebody to say they're the reason why it's failed. I got somebody to say I'm against this and I can't do this and I can't support this and I got to do this and that, because that's how I really feel. I'm against this. I can't support this. And if I was in that position, if I was still a senator, I wouldn't be pushing none of this stuff either. You realize Joe Biden was Joe Manchin when he was senator? They are the same. So come on, progressive, stop with your, he's a cuck and he's a punk and he's being ran over, and who's the president? Who's the real president of the United States? Charlemagne the God, to Kamala Harris and I. Who's the real president? And you need to force him to do this and whip him to do that. Let me tell you something. If Joe Biden really wanted to do that, man, Joe Biden and Joe Manchin are friends. They've been friends for the longest time. They have a real strong, deep-rooted relationship together. If Joe Biden and his buddies was, he could do that. He ain't got to go through all that to get Joe Manchin to do that. He has the power now. He can offer Joe Manchin anything he wants to get things done for his so-called agenda. The problem is that is not his agenda. These are your agendas that he's pushing. Why? Because he need to maintain power. That's it. But because he really, really don't want that position, he don't want these things to happen, he'll pay Joe Manchin whatever he need to do to be the bad guy. And don't get me wrong, Joe Manchin is a bad guy. So was Mitch McConnell. So is Joe Biden. So was Trump. Both of them are not trying to do nothing for you. They act like they do because they want to maintain their power. But when it comes down to getting stuff done, they're going to always have that fall guy that's going to be them, but not them. I need a fall guy. I need somebody to go do this bid for me. I need to still stay out here on the streets, hustle on the street. So you'll occasionally get that guy who say, look, for the sake of the team, for the sake of the family, for the sake of the process, I'll take the rap. I do about 5 years for you, but hook up my family. And when I get out, I want to be straight. Same thing. They do it on the streets. They do it in politics. Joe Manchin and Joe Biden are the same people, and don't you dare get it twisted. Again, that's why I had to tell Kyle Manchin is doing exactly what Biden wants. He's only proposing all this stuff because it gets Democratic support from different directions. It also gets some Republican support, and it definitely gets progressive support. And automatically, black people, if they don't wake their behind up, they're going to sit there and support this stuff, all because of the so-called John Lewis bill. He is anti-voting rights and anti-job for all and more. Biden is probably hooking him up to be his fall guy. The people want this, but I don't want this, but I cannot let them know that or see that. I need a fall guy. And who's my best fall guy? My good buddy, my good friend, Joe Manchin. Joe Biden and Joe Manchin are the same. And don't you dare get it twisted.